So a couple of choices you've got to make right now. You need to choose your domain. Are you going to create a brand new domain for this system? Are you going to just leave it in its own standalone work group? Are you going to join this machine to a domain? Are you going to rename the machine, and configuring a bunch of other options as well? So first thing I'm going to do, because I'm running my own domain here, what I've decided to do is I'm going to get this machine to join a domain. So first thing I'm going to do though is I'm going to rename the machine. So I'm going to call this my Hyper-V SRV, and it's R2. So Hyper-V SRV R2 is what I've decided to call the machine, and now it's asking me I need to restart the computer to apply the changes. I'm going to restart now, and I'll say yes. So now we've rebooted. I'm going to log back on again. And you can see each time you log on to the Hyper-V server, it brings you into this character-based configuration system. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go and double check exactly how my network is configured. Alright, so what's happened here, the network drivers have already been loaded and it's been configured for dhcp. And you can see it's actually picked up an IP address off my local network, and it's allocated that IP address. So if I want to, and I would recommend you do this, you should go ahead and change the network adapter so that it is using a static IP address. So I'm going to do that right now. So I'll choose my network adapter. In this case I'm going to choose the network adapter that's set to index 0. So I'll choose that. So I put in 0 and hit enter. So now it gives me the option of reconfiguring this particular network card. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to say set my network adapter IP address, and I'm going to say I want it to be static, and I'm going to pick an IP address from my reserved range of static IP addresses. So I'm just going to go and look that up. Okay, so I've picked 10.0.1.9, so I'll pop that in there. I'll put in my subnet mask 255.255.255.0, my default gateway 10.0.0.137. Alright, and that's now configured. And I'm now going to set my DNS servers as well. And I'll put in my DNS server. Now I'm going to join this machine to my domain, so I'm putting in the DNS server on my domain, and that's now set. Do I want an alternate DNS server? In this particular instance, no, I don't. So that's now done. So I'll return to my main menu, and now that that's done, I can continue on and make some more of my changes. So a couple of things I'm going to do is, first thing, I'm going to set my Windows Update to be automatic, because I'm already running Windows Small Business Server on my network, and that's running Windows Server Update services, which is automatically pulling down all the necessary Microsoft patches, and I'm going to configure this so that they're automatically applied to my Hyper-V server. System's going ahead and it's doing that for me, and you can see down the bottom there it just runs a little script to do that. I'll accept that. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and set the system to join my domain. So I'll choose D for domain. I'm going to put in my domain name. Okay, which is smbsolutions.local, and put in my domain user. Which is me, because I'm the administrator, and it's asking me for my password now. I put that in, so now it's joining this new server to my domain. So you can see the process of configuring the Hyper-V server is very easy. Now it's come up, it's popped up with an error, and I think that's probably because it hasn't picked up my new IP address yet. So I'm going to just see what's causing this problem. Okay, so I've just figured out what I've done wrong. When I configured my network, I put in an incorrect IP address. So let's just go back in, and you can see I put 10.0.1.9. That's not correct. It should have been 10.0.0.9. So I'll just choose that. Again, we're saying it's static. 10.0.0.9. Subnet mask. Default gateway. And that's now done. We'll return back to our main menu. Alright, so now I'm going to try joining the domain again. Now, before I do that, I'm just going to go back and test that that's all taken. Yep, so there's my IP config. I'm going to try and ping my DNS server. And I can now ping my DNS, so that's a bit better. So let's pop this back up here. And we'll now go ahead and we'll try to join the domain again. So that's domain. Same process, putting in my domain administrator. Now obviously if you're joining this machine to your network and you are not the network administrator, you need to speak to your network administrator to make sure they're comfortable with what you're doing and they can give you any assistance that you need in this stage. Now it's asking me for my password. And all things being equal, do I want to change the computer name before restarting the computer? No. I restart the computer to apply these changes. Restart now, yes. And away we go. We'll let that restart and then we'll come back and we'll do a couple more configuration changes and then our Hyper-V server is ready to go. So now I've restarted. It's asking me to log on. So Control-Alt-Delete. And now I want to choose to switch user. I want to choose other user. You can see now it's going to log on using my domain, and then I'm going to log on here. Alright, I'm going to add a local administrator. Alright. And I'm going to add my account to the local administrators group. And that's been completed successfully. Next thing I'm going to do is I want to configure my remote management so I can connect to this machine via remote desktop services. And I'm going to allow MMC remote management. So that's done. I'm going to enable my Windows PowerShell. That a couple of seconds for that to run through. Then I'm going to allow my server manager remote management. Just in case you're interested as well, you can see the scripts that are actually running here in the bottom. They always run minimized. So let's just pop that back down. Let that go through. So you can see that's running, it's 98% complete. I'll just pause while that's running. Oh, there we go, it's done. So it's saying I've got to restart the computer to complete the PowerShell installation. I don't want to restart now because I'm going to restart again in a minute anyway. Now I'm going to allow the server manager remote management. Okay, oh, looks like I can't do that until I've restarted the machine. So let's do that. I'm going to go back to my main menu. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to choose to restart the server. So I just choose option 13. Press enter. Are you sure you want to restart? Yes. And we'll let the machine go ahead and restart and we'll come back. So now we're back again after that reboot. I'll log on again. Alright, go back to continue configuring my remote management, and I'm going to allow server manager remote management. Let that process run. And then the next thing I want to do is I want to allow remote desktop as well. Okay, so remote server management is taken care of. So we'll now go back to our main menu, and I now want to enable remote desktop. So E for enable. So do I want to allow all clients running remote desktop or allow and enforce that they have network level authentication, or do I want to allow clients running any version of remote desktop? It's up to you how you do that. For me, I just want to have clients running any version of remote desktop because I actually run a couple of Macintoshes, well actually more than a couple, so I want to be able to connect to this machine with my Mac as well and do any of the administration work. So I'm going to choose 2. So that's now done. Alright. Let's just double check that. Okay, so that's enabled. Yep, so that's now done. Alright, so anything else I want to do here? No, I think we're good to go. Next thing I might want to do is I might want to download and install updates, do a force of that. Again, up to you as to whether or not you want to do that. I'm going to go ahead and run that option. And I'm going to search for all updates and let that rattle away. Once that's done, I'm going to have the system, and there you can see all the updates are there. So I'm going to just run all updates. Okay, and now it's going to download and it's going to install all of those updates. This is the advantage of obviously having your own Windows Small Business Server or Windows Server with Windows Server Update services installed, is that all of those updates are automatically downloaded and makes it very, very easy to then distribute those out across all of your different servers and workstations in the network. So that basically brings us to the end of the installation of our Hyper-V server. So we're going to let that, after those patches and updates are loaded, we're going to reboot the server. And then what we're going to do, that's the end of the video camera work for now. We're going to move across and we're going to install the necessary components to start managing and configuring our virtual servers from a remote desktop.